So while we're out in Mallorca, I thought it'd be a really good opportunity to give you a breakdown on the IGPSport BSC 300. So I got the wind space and I was actually trying to find a smaller bike computer that I could put on the front because I want to go crit racing. I'm going to do a few more road races, but mostly crit racing. And the other bike computer I have is slightly bigger. It's the Garmin 1040 Edge, which is fantastic, like all the bells and whistles. So I was thinking, can you get a smaller, good value for money bike computer that's going to give me everything I need and just surpass my basic needs just to go out and ride? So not all bells and whistles, but value for money. It's a lot cheaper than obviously a big, the Garmin Edge is a significantly bigger bike computer. Let me show you what the Garmin Edge is like. So this is the IGPSport and the Garmin Edge. So you can see the size difference, but I want to still be able to get things like cadence, power. I want to have good navigation. What's it like to use, like ease of use and things like that. I'm going to take you through all of that today. And again, I'm going to say that, you know, out in Mallorca for 3 days already, doing all my nav on it, it's been fantastic. People are creating GPSs. We're staying with the Bike Villas travel guys. They are literally dropping over GPSs. I can just, honestly, like 20 seconds, I'll take you through how to do that. And it's on the computer and it's good to go. So first and foremost, you can see that the screen itself, you know, it's not super complicated. We're going to go to navigation, select routes, find our route for today. We got a few already on here, which is this one. Little ride, waiting. There we go, 108k. Done, waiting for GPS, and it actually starts at the top of the road rather than at the house. So, but it's as simple as that to get a ride up, and you can see how it just fits in nicely. These little buttons can sometimes be hard to press, which I guess is a good thing because that's obviously start stop, and that's a lap button. Sometimes, you know, you have to give yourself a bit of space between the bars and the bike computer, but bueno, we are good to go already. Cue the montage. So the little navigation unit is, as far as I've been using it, pretty fantastic. But I'm just going to lay out, it's probably a good place to start with what I'm looking for, because then we can figure out whether it ticks those boxes, and then we'll see whether it has things that go above and beyond. First and foremost, connecting up to power meter and HR were very, very easy. I will show you the home screen, and because there aren't a million functions on it, it just makes it quite simple to understand. The app is a big part of the GPS unit, so or the computer. So download the app, everything becomes very, very easy. Let's talk bike computers. So like I said, I have had such a good experience with this little thing whilst being out in Mallorca. I was leading a few of the rides, so I needed to make sure that I was obviously like pretty sorted on my nav, and I'm gonna say that I'm overall incredibly impressed with it, and I am going to show you why. First and foremost, obviously this is the size of it. I showed you that earlier. The main thing you need for the BSC 300 is the app, and this is what makes this product so good. And someone's just messaged me now asking me about it. So you have the little app, which is here. Let me start again. So what do I look for in a bike computer? Well, whilst being out here, all I've wanted to do is what I'm thinking you guys or most people actually want, which is you want to be able to get all your data, you want it to be easy to use, and you want it to be absolutely pinpoint with navigation. and it needs to be like user friendly, and can you pull maps off super easy if someone sends you a GPX. Guys, it ticked every single box. We had a group WhatsApp. Someone would send the GPX file to the WhatsApp, and you can just pull it straight into the app. You have to turn this on, open the app, just go save route, save it in the app, and then it will go push to device. So the only thing is you've got to have the device on and connected to the app, and you just go push to device, boom. Like 30 seconds, if that, every night. I was just taking the routes from the group and uploading them. So my main reason for wanting like a mini bike computer was I needed things, was power, speed, distance, time, elevation, like climbing elevation, navigation. That's basically it. The nice thing about this is that the menu on it is so super simple. You have ride mode, you have navigation, and you have settings. So when it comes to pairing all your devices, you can't really go wrong, because you literally go into settings and the first thing is sensors. And you click on sensors and you pair up your power meter, just turn your cranks and get it going. You turn on your heart rate monitor, or if you have a Ant Plus heart rate monitor, it picked them up so simple. You can do that on the computer itself, and you can check it on the app as well. And I'll go into the app in a second. And then under that, it's got pair phone. So you're getting live push notifications from WhatsApp groups if you want. And again, you can turn that off. You can pair your phone and kind of turn off push notifications in the app. And it was super simple. And that's the thing about it, is that I like, there are a few other things on it. It's got training on here. So I don't know, some people might take their bike computer to that level of downloading training programs onto it. So you can do that. It's not something I don't think I'll ever do. Maybe I will, but it's not something I have required, especially this trip. So I'm not really going to focus on that, but there is that ability. So you have ride mode, training, settings, history, and navigation on the computer. So simple, right? Not like millions and millions of menus. And that's what I found actually genuinely really nice about it. Because if you're on your bike and trying to flick over something and find something, it's really easy. Let me give you an example. We loaded the route this morning, but the guy who'd sent the GPX had started the route from the end of the road. So I started it this morning. We rode to the end of the road. Unfortunately, it did think we'd finished the route, or it certainly came up and said route finished. So when we carried on cycling, I realized that although the navigation, the route was still coming up, I wasn't getting the notifications for like right-hand turn, left-hand turn that pop up on any screen, which you are probably familiar with. So what I had to do was just go back, go into navigation, reopen the route, and then press navigation again. So then it just realized, in actual fact, we're on the route, and I was good to go. I was getting the pop-up direction notifications. So there was that. I know that Garmin has like a function where it's navigate to start. I don't think that, or that didn't come up for me on the BSC 300, but because how easy it is to use the interface on the actual product, it wasn't a problem, because I just figured, I'm riding along, I'm like, why is the notifications not coming up? Oh, maybe it was because the ride said it had finished, went into navigation, and I didn't have to stop or pause my activity. Gosh, I mean, great. So here's the app, and this app is awesome, and I'm going to show you why. First and foremost, like I said, there's not like a million bells and whistles to it, and that's reflected into the price. I'm gonna have to check the price for you just to make sure, but it is very, very good value. So here's the thing that I really, really like about it. You can go into riding mode, and you can set up a couple of different riding modes. So for outdoor cycling or just normal cycling, you can go to page configuration, and on the app, you literally get a display of what the bike computer looks like, and you can go through and change all your screens, and you get to see what that will look like before pushing it through to the computer, which I think is phenomenal. And you can pick anything. So with HR Max, press edit, at the top, press that, and you get the full date, like all the little data screens that you can just swap in, out, and swap out. It just makes it so like easy to swap things around. I know that some, it's not touchscreen, but I know that some more expensive bike computers have these brilliant functions, which are great, but there's tons and tons of menus when you're trying to do it on the computer. Doing this was just, I just find it so easy because you can literally just see how you're setting up your data screens. And for instance, this is the map screen. So it is a color screen. It's not like all bells and whistles, like it's a color screen that does a really good job on the nav screen. And so you'd get the route, and I just wanted power on one side and speed. So I get the route with power and speed sat below it. And I just spend most of the day, if I'm at the front of the group, just on that. So I'm still getting my power. I know what speed we're moving at, but I'm still on the nav page. Guys, honestly, I'm kind of like, if someone was to ask me, can I recommend a good bike computer? And I will caveat this by saying, because I do want to be completely fair, that my other bike computer is a Garmin Edge 1040, like the bigger one that I showed you earlier. And that has tons of menus, tons of bells and whistles, but sometimes it is a bit of a kind of data overload. Like, it is a lot of information to take in. Whereas I think the simplicity of this and the intuitive nature of how to use it is great. And even if you were someone new to cycling, it does everything that a new rider would need. But then if you are kind of a really good cyclist, I think you'd be able to set this up. Sorry, I'm not putting myself, no, I'm not putting myself in the really good cyclist category. I'm kind of still in that YouTuber/influencer enthusiastic middle-aged man category. Is that a thing? But if you were a really good cyclist, I think you could use this and have all the data that you would want in a color screen with a very intuitive way to navigate on the screen. And I will say, like, it's not flashy. It's not like crazy. Like, you'd look at it and think, oh, it's pretty simple. There's a couple of colors on the screen. That is the reason that I like it, is because it gives you what you need and you're not overwhelmed with choice. And then you partner that up with the app that you have. It just makes it really easy to kind of set your computer up how you want it. So in terms of what I wanted it to do, which was navigate really well and provide me with the data and kind of not make it overly complicated, it definitely ticked those boxes. Like I say, I've done basically a week of riding with it outside, some in the UK, some abroad. In the UK, I had to download a few extra maps to go on the system before taking it out for a ride. I didn't have to do that in Mallorca. The maps were preloaded. So it depends where you are in the world. You might have to download some apps. It's not super hard, but it is a step that you have to do to kind of make it function in terms of navigation, maybe in the area that you are. So if you are new to cycling, I imagine something like that is something that you're kind of not really familiar with and you probably don't want to do. If you are familiar with cycling, you literally plug your unit into your laptop, pull the maps off the IGPSport website, and then drop them onto the computer, and you're pretty much good to go. I guess the best way to wrap this up is IGPSport actually reached out to me and asked me whether I wanted to try their unit without kind of implying that I had to necessarily do anything overtly for them or say anything in any certain way. They just asked whether I wanted to try one and give it a crack. And as I said, I was looking for a smaller unit to go on my Windspace bike because I want to go and take it racing. So I want like just a super simple speed, power, cadence, heart rate, screen, maybe a few other things, whatever whatever metrics I was looking for. I just wanted something that was super small, super easy, crit racing, so I can keep track of like heart rate, cadence, power, basically, which is kind of why I said yes to it. I thought, okay, well, this will be interesting because my barrier to entry or my expectations were kind of really low because my requirements weren't huge. But this has like really surpassed my expectations, quite simply because of how easy it is to set up your data screens and change them around, and how easy it is to pull a GPX from somewhere and get it onto the computer. So for a bike computer that is based around £120 UK pounds, I honestly think you would happily use this for almost all your needs. The one thing I am a bit upset that I haven't been able to give you feedback on is like the training feature and how it might import a training session from something like Training Peaks or whatever you decide to create your training session on. But there is a tab in there and also on the app that does suggest that you can drop training files into it. I just can't provide you with that level of information as to how that feeds back and kind of was that any use. It didn't drop anything, so like I would basically start my ride at the end of the day. I don't use auto pause. I never use auto pause. It picked up everything. The battery life on it was like really pretty good. I've been out to Mallorca for 4 days now, riding 5 to 7 hours a day, and I haven't charged it, and there's still kind of plenty of charge, like maybe 40 odd percent left. So it's been like very reliable in terms of battery, and also just like the data that you're getting from it. It picks up the maps. It has picked up the maps very quickly in the mornings when you kind of drop them onto the computer and you go to press start. But as a final sign off, guys, yeah, I would actually recommend it, like to the point where if you get one and you are not happy with it, you could message me and I would be upset because I don't think you are not going to be happy with it. For £120, I think you are getting like quite genuinely and it's hard saying this because I got into YouTube because I love cycling and I understand the situation I'm in. Someone reaches out and says, hey, would you want to test this out? And I say yes. It can come across as I wouldn't get as upset if something goes wrong because I haven't forked out the money for it. I understand that, but in this scenario, my user experience with this has been kind of really good. So I understand that if something were to go wrong and I hadn't paid for it, I'd be less annoyed. But I haven't got to that point because my user experience has genuinely just been quite pleasant, and kind of it has just done all the things I want it to. And then I see the way that the app works and I think, oh, well, actually that's genuinely really good. So yeah, if you do have any questions about it, please do drop them over to me and I will try and help you out. Other than that, guys, please like and subscribe so I can continue to make content about cycling things because I do genuinely enjoy it. I will see you guys on another video soon.